In a desolate and remote suburb, the body of a man with a gunshot wound to the head and his hands tightly bound was discovered in a deep dirt pit. Clues at the scene led police to believe this was a premeditated murder. While the investigation was ongoing, a bizarre event shocked everyone. The deceased man suddenly came back to life. To the astonishment of the police, the man revealed a shocking secret. What was this secret? What really happened to this man? How could someone presumed dead return to life? Follow today's video to uncover the truth and decode the chilling secrets of this case. The story began at 5 p.m. on July 21st, when a group of police officers in Montgomery, Texas, USA, rushed to a remote area on the outskirts to investigate a case. This area was rarely visited, surrounded by dense trees and tall wild grass. With such an isolated terrain, it was an ideal spot for criminals to carry out their sinister plans. After searching the scene, the police quickly discovered a deep pit about 3 meters in depth. Inside the pit was the motionless body of a man lying face down. The victim was found wearing only a pair of athletic shorts, with his hands bound tightly behind his back with rope. On the right temple, police identified a gunshot wound that pierced straight into the victim's head. The body bore no other injuries, suggesting that the perpetrator acted swiftly and professionally. The area surrounding the pit showed no signs of a struggle or scuffle, leading the police to believe the victim had likely been subdued before being brought there. Despite thorough searching, investigators were unable to find any identification documents or items that could help identify the victim. Who was the victim? Who killed him in such a remote location? With the evidence gathered at the scene, the police launched an intense investigation to uncover the truth. While detectives were deliberating the case, an unexpected phone call from a man named Mondo turned everything around. In the call, Mondo claimed he knew the victim's identity and even knew who the perpetrator was. Armed with this crucial information, the police immediately summoned Mondo to the station for questioning. At the police station, Mondo revealed that the victim was his friend, Ramon Sosa, and the perpetrator was none other than his wife, Maria Lourdes. Mondo recounted that while he was training in boxing with Sosa, Maria had approached him and asked him to find a hitman to kill her husband for the price of $2,000. Since Sosa was a mentor whom Mondo deeply respected, he decided to report the matter to the police. Mondo also provided the police with critical evidence, including audio recordings and text messages documenting his conversations with Maria Lourdes about the plan to kill her husband. This evidence was compelling enough for the police to immediately issue an arrest warrant for Maria Lourdes. Once Maria was arrested, the true motive behind her actions against Sosa came to light. Ramon Sosa, originally from Puerto Rico, had moved to Montgomery as a child. At 17, he began his career as a professional boxer. However, his passion for the sport didn't last long, as he realized he was merely a money-making tool for others. As a result, he decided to leave the ring and transition to working as a boxing coach. One day, Sosa, dressed in designer clothes and wearing an expensive watch, walked into a bar to relax. There, he met Maria Lourdes, a tall and attractive woman whom patrons at the bar often referred to as Lulu. Lulu, 7 years younger than Sosa, was Mexican and living in the U.S. on a temporary visa. She made her living cleaning houses and working as a massage therapist. Their encounter began when Lulu casually offered Sosa a drink, and the two struck up an intimate conversation. Both had previously been divorced. Lulu had 2 children, and Sosa had 3, and they shared a mutual passion for fitness. Their shared pasts and interests convinced Sosa that Lulu was the love of his life. Not long after they started dating, the two became a couple, and in 2010, Sosa and Lulu decided to marry and became legally husband and wife. By marrying Sosa, Lulu easily obtained a U.S. green card. Now, she could stay in the U.S. indefinitely without needing to return to Mexico to renew her visa. Sosa recalled that on his wedding day, Lulu's mother jokingly said to him, "From today onwards, Lulu will be your trouble." At the time, he thought it was just a joke, but Sosa had no idea it was actually a serious warning. After their marriage, Sosa and Lulu partnered to open a boxing gym, which not only fulfilled their passion but also provided a stable income. In addition to his role as a boxing coach, Sosa worked at a shipping company, leaving him little time to manage the gym. As a result, he entrusted Lulu with all the management responsibilities. The way she ran the business impressed Sosa's friends and made him love and trust his wife even more. In Sosa's eyes, Lulu was the ideal wife, dedicated and reliable. Within 3 years, Sosa quickly built an enviable life, owning a luxurious 2-story house, a motorcycle, and an expensive car. Beyond that, he also helped Lulu's family by assisting her mother and 2 children in obtaining US citizenship one by one. However, in the 4th year of their marriage, cracks in their relationship began to surface more clearly. Sosa noticed that Lulu was becoming increasingly extravagant, frequently buying designer clothes and handbags while neglecting her family and work. Whenever Sosa inquired about the gym's finances, Lulu would immediately react defensively and accuse him of meddling in her personal affairs. Instead of providing clear explanations to her husband, she often escalated the conversations into tense arguments. During this time, Sosa devoted himself to establishing a nonprofit organization aimed at supporting troubled youth who had a criminal past. Initially, the organization received enthusiastic support from donors, and Sosa believed he was truly making a difference. However, Lulu not only refused to support him, but secretly contacted the donors, spreading rumors that Sosa was embezzling the organization's funds. These rumors quickly spread, causing all funding sources to be cut off entirely. As a result, the organization faced insurmountable challenges and was ultimately forced to shut down. Not stopping there, Lulu began spreading more rumors to tarnish Sosa's reputation. She accused her husband of being an alcoholic and frequently using violence against her, leading those around them to develop a negative view of Sosa. As tensions escalated, Lulu decided to move her children to the 2nd floor of their home, separating herself from Sosa. By March 2015, Lulu proposed divorce to Sosa and demanded he transfer all his assets to her, including the house, vehicles, and savings. However, Sosa firmly refused, insisting that the assets must be divided fairly. Sosa's clear stance not only disappointed Lulu, but also made her feel angry and resentful. It was perhaps at this point that Lulu decided to plot Sosa's murder in order to claim all of his assets. Yet during her police interrogation, Lulu adamantly denied all allegations related to the plot to kill her husband. She claimed that she had only asked Mondo to find a thug to beat up Sosa and force him to sign the divorce papers and transfer all the assets to her. This statement created significant challenges for the police in convicting Lulu. Although the evidence pointed to Lulu's sinister plot, the lack of concrete proof made it difficult to prove that she had actually intended to hire a hitman to kill her husband. However, just as Lulu was about to be released, an unexpected event occurred. Ramon Sosa, the man everyone believed to be dead, suddenly walked into the interrogation room. Lulu screamed in fear, thinking that the figure before her was her husband's ghost. But how could someone presumed dead return to life? The truth quickly came to light when it was revealed that Sosa's death was merely a staged act orchestrated by him, Mondo, and the Montgomery police chief. Facing his wife directly, Sosa recounted the entire truth. Sosa explained that after learning of his wife's plan, his friend Mondo had called to warn him. According to Mondo, to gain Lulu's trust, he pretended to know a notorious hitman in the criminal underworld named Parker. Lulu completely trusted Mondo and entrusted him with full authority to contact Parker to carry out the plot. However, Lulu had no idea that Parker was a fictional character cleverly created by Mondo to trap her. Initially, Sosa thought this was just a harmless joke by Mondo. However, when Mondo detailed the entire conversation and negotiation process with Lulu, Sosa couldn't believe what was happening to him. Mondo went on to explain his plan to save Sosa and expose Lulu's plot. He suggested that Sosa disguise himself as a hitman with the alias Parker. To do this, Sosa needed to buy a new phone to communicate with Lulu, luring her into revealing her intentions and gathering evidence against her. Sosa agreed to Mondo's plan and began preparing, posing as a professional hitman negotiating a contract. Sosa started communicating with Lulu to plan the assassination of himself. Step by step, he drew Lulu into the trap, making her increasingly confident that her plan was flawless. Parker set clear conditions. He would only accept the contract if the price was reasonable, and Lulu needed to make an upfront payment. Lulu agreed to pay $2,000 and throw in a pickup truck, hoping this would fully satisfy Parker and ensure he carried out the job. Meanwhile, Mondo secretly wore a small recording device on his shirt and continued visiting the gym to speak with Lulu. During their conversations, Lulu constantly complained about her situation. She claimed that Sosa didn't give her a single penny and had even frozen all her bank accounts. With only a small amount of cash left, Lulu became even more determined to carry out her plan. While talking, she openly revealed that Sosa might finalize the divorce paperwork by February 22nd and emphasized that the hitman needed to act before then so she could claim all his assets. Mondo tried to persuade Lulu to abandon her plan. He repeatedly told her that things hadn't gone too far and that she still had a chance to change her mind. But Lulu stubbornly refused to reconsider. She even expressed frustration with Mondo's advice, insisting that this was the only way to achieve her goal. Lulu's stubbornness made Mondo realize that she was completely consumed by greed and hatred. Later, she gave Mondo $100, instructing him to use it to buy a gun for Parker to prepare for the assassination. Unbeknownst to her, Mondo took the $100 along with all the evidence he had collected, including recordings and messages, to the police station to report the case. When he arrived, Mondo detailed everything, from Lulu's suspicious actions to the crucial evidence he had gathered. The Montgomery police chief officially accepted all the evidence Mondo provided. However, after a thorough review, the police chief concluded that the current evidence was still insufficient to convict Lulu. As a result, the police decided to execute a bold plan, staging Sosa's death to force Lulu to reveal her entire plot. Of course, this plan was only carried out after the police confirmed that Lulu had indeed hired someone to kill her husband. This was not an act of entrapment, but a strategy to collect direct evidence of Lulu's criminal intent. The police chief worked closely with Sosa and Mondo to ensure the plan was executed safely and effectively. With the help of professional makeup artists, they created a realistic gunshot wound on Sosa's head. Sosa was then placed in a dirt pit, lying motionless with his eyes closed, perfectly mimicking the appearance of a deceased victim. An investigation team was even sent to the scene to examine, film, and photograph it as if it were a real crime scene. These staged photos would later be sent to Lulu as proof that the assassination had been carried out successfully. The situation became even more dramatic when, during the staged autopsy at the police station, investigators were shocked to see Sosa suddenly come back to life. To everyone's astonishment, Sosa calmly said, "This death is my key to freedom." It was then that investigators realized Sosa had faked his death as part of the plan. After completing his role, Sosa went into hiding at a safe location, leaving the rest of the operation to the police. A police officer disguised as Parker then brought the staged crime scene photos to Lulu. During their meeting, Parker informed Lulu that the mission was complete and demanded the remaining payment as agreed. Upon seeing the fake photos of her husband's lifeless body in the dirt pit, Lulu couldn't hide her joy. She laughed on the spot, clearly satisfied. She even asked the hitman to recount the details of how he killed her husband to ensure everything had been carried out. Once assured, Lulu handed over the remaining money to Parker. However, she was unaware that she had fallen into the elaborate trap set by Sosa and the police chief. Faced with irrefutable evidence, Lulu was finally forced to confess to all her crimes. In October 2016, the court sentenced Lulu to 20 years in prison for solicitation of murder. However, due to good behavior during her time in prison, Lulu's sentence was reduced, and she was released early in 2023 after serving only 7 years. This decision surprised and concerned many, including Sosa. Upon hearing that Lulu would be released, Sosa couldn't hide his worry about the possibility of her seeking revenge. As a result, he decided to leave his current residence and focus on building a new life. Later, he met a doctor named Beth, and they got married in 2024. Not only did Sosa find new love, but he also decided to share his life story through a book titled, I Walked on My Own Grave. In the book, he detailed everything that happened from the terrifying moment he discovered Lulu's murder plot to the journey of staging his death and escaping danger. He hoped his story would inspire those in difficult situations, reminding them that life always offers a way out for those who refuse to give up hope and faith in the future. Thank you for watching the video. If you found the content interesting and engaging, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our latest crime stories.